You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look up better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the 17th part of What If Naruto Enters Witch? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of pyrohelixdrago, co-written with KFB Anime 87 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. With Elian. Can't believe my little girl's getting married. Wyra said happily as she hugged her daughter. If your fathers were here they'd be happy, she said as she saw Myriadel as family as she and Allborn raised and protected her daughter. They'd be proud to see who you've become, she said to her. She's right, Elian. Myriadel said with a sad but happy look on her face as she missed her husband but focused on her daughter. I am who I am because of the people in my life, all the love and support they've given me is the reason I am where I am now, Elian said, knowing she made mistakes and learned from them and the people who cared about her was what made her into who she was now, and if I didn't have them I'd be a lot worse off, she thought, knowing that was the pure truth as her friends never gave up on her for even a moment. We're so proud of you. Wyra said, hugging her daughter as she was glad that she could witness this as she missed so much of her daughter's life when she died. But now she had been given a second chance to be these for not only her daughter but her future grandchildren. I could just imagine the talks Dad would give Naruto. Elian said as she chuckled, looking at herself in the mirror, the images of both her fathers smiling as they each put a hand in her shoulder. She couldn't stop the tear falling from her eye, wishing the two of them could be her with her to give her away at her wedding. I can just imagine our appealing grandchildren now. Myriadel said as she very much liked that thought, and so did Wyra. Moms. Elian said as her entire head turned red from her blush. This late in the game and I can still embarrass my daughter. Wyra said as she sounded proud. We're just being mothers, Elian, and all mothers want lots of grandchildren to spoil. Myriadel said to her with a smile. You sound like Naruto's mom. Elian said as that was a scary thought. Something tells me we'll get along just fine. Myriadel said as she and Wyra chuckled together. Later at night. To Naruto for take the biggest plunge any man could take. Kiba laughed as he and the other guys burst with laughter as they raised their glasses in celebration for Naruto and his upcoming nuptials tomorrow. Thanks you guys. Naruto said as it was nice seeing his friends again and having them celebrate his last day as an unwed man. I just wish the girls would let us have some fun tonight. Kiba said, mumbling under his breath as he recalled earlier when he and the others came in to fetch Naruto for the bachelor party. Will and Kushina were very adamant about there being no strippers of any kind. When Kiba tried to argue, he was met with threats of electricity and cracking knuckles, making him shiver in fear. Who needs them anyway? We can have fun, just us guys. Especially with some of this. Kakashi said, holding up a bottle of pure white sake, surprising everyone but Minato, whose eyes widened. Is that white lighting? Minato asked him, a little worried. Yep. Kakashi said proudly. What's that? Lionel asked curiously. Trust me, you don't want to have swing of that. Last time I had it I woke in the land of hot springs handcuffed to a horse. Shikaku said as that was a weird day. Come, it's a party, livin' up, will ya? Kiba said as Kakashi poured each of them a glass of white lightning. They all hesitated for a bit until Kiba and Kakashi to their swig, throwing caution to the wind, they to drink. With the girls. Irma, kill the lights. Terene shouted as the water guardian rushed over and flipped the SWCH while Elian started the movie. The sound of electric music filled the room as a cloaked figure wearing a fox mask walked onto the stage by a pole. The girls grinned with anticipation. Girls, what is this? Anna asked. Ma, just sit back and enjoy the show. Irma said as the cloaked man disrobed, revealing nothing else but a black-orange flamed speedo. The other women in the room all gained fiery blushes at the sight as the man began to dance, earning many yells and catcalls from Anko, Anna, and Elian. "Oh my word!" Helener said, covering her eyes but still peeping through her fingers. "DMN the pythons on that man, I'd like to be wrapped up in those." Ino said in joy. "Thank God he's blindfolded," the girls thought as they found a loophole, as Naruto just couldn't see them, and after the show was done he left. "Hey girls, I had an idea in the back of my head for months that I've always wanted to do. You interested?" Terene said, whispering something into their ears. Few hours later with the guys. F the police. F the police. Tom said as the bachelor party became a full-on event where they and anyone who wished partied on the streets. "I'm out of my mind." Matt said, very drunk. "Dad, move your head, the glare is too much." Peter said as his dad had a light reflecting off his head. "You okay, boy?" Kiba asked Akameru as they were both woozy. "First time I've ever seen a drunk animal," Peter said. "With the girls." "You know, I should have thought of this years ago," Kushina said as she watched the girls get tattoos of the Uzumaki symbol above their asses, each in their unique color: Will pink, Irma navy blue, Terene orange, Cornelia green, Lin silver, and Elian was gold. "You got the names?" Kushina asked Tsunade as the girls were more focused on getting their tattoos and dealing with the pain. Tsunade then pulled up a long list of names. Bonding over violence with my daughters," she said as smiled. Few minutes later. Time for the real fun to begin. Will grinned with Irma holding a large duffel bag. "Let's move," she said to the girls. Many shadows flew across the hidden leaf village, and all throughout the night the sounds of terrified screams began to echo throughout the village, while the sound of jovial laughter drowned them out. Meanwhile, everyone from both parties left very drunk. Kiba with Hinata, Hanabi with Konohamaru, Ino with Sai, Choji with Karui, Shikamaru with Temari, Susan, Anko and Shizen left with Irika, Yen Lin and Mira met up with Cassidy left with Matt, Kurinai and Hanar with Kakashi, Halener with Guy and Kadma with Ibiki. Needless to say, there was going to be many people in the morning very confused on what happened that night. Next day. "Where the F am I?" Shikamaru said, seeing he was next to a sleeping Temari and noticed they were both naked. "Oh," he said, not knowing if he should be impressed or run. Temari woke up and saw their situation before screaming. Other women's screams filled the air of the village as many people from the parties woke up. 1 hour later. "How are you?" Gaara asked Naruto as they stood at the aisle. "Fine, actually can't get drunk, and also you three make terrible groomsmen," Naruto said as Kiba tried acting like he was a player. Shikamaru looked like he just rolled out of bed, and Choji had crumbs on his suit. "Not my fault, I'm tired," Shikamaru said, letting out a yawn as Temari walked up to him and slapped him across the face before fixing him up. "I can't help it if I'm hungry," Choji said as Ino walked up and glared at him with intensity. Kiba just smirked, seeing he was in the clear, but froze as his mother and sister were giving him glares from their seats. Their eyes were slits, making him make himself look presentable. "I knew I should have asked someone else to be the groomsman," Naruto said as he face-bombed himself. "Thank God the girls came through," he said as Ino, Temari, and Tenten were great choices. "You ready to be tied down, brat?" Tsunade said as she was performing the ceremony. "I'm pretty sure I was tied down the moment I met them," Naruto said as he laughed a little. "Yeah, heard you met them in prison," Tsunade said as that was an odd place to begin a love story. "It was a dungeon," Naruto said with a smile. "With the girls." The girls were all gathered up in Kushina's room watching as Lin scribbled down a few designs for the girls' wedding dresses. "Wow, Lin, you've got real talent. You should take up a career as a fashion designer," Cornelia's mother said, looking over several of the sketches the girl had drawn. "Thanks. I just want to make sure I make something that suits each one of us. Here's one I made for you, Will," Lin said, handing off a picture to Will. It combines classic wedding dress with traditional Japanese kimono with a few traces of red lining because of your live of froggies, she said. An alien grandma gave me a book on meridian wedding dresses and thought about mixing them up with earth gowns for something that goes great for a princess royal wedding. Hey Lin said, showing off the gown to the young queen, who smiled. I love it, Hey Lin. Alien said, yeah, it really suits you. Cornelia said to her best friend, who smiled back. Think we should go as a matching pair, silver and gold? Alien said as they both squeal in joy. Sometime later. I swear he just might die seeing us in these. Will said as she twirled in her dress, and a pink and electric blue Ashley Carroll CC Sweetheart long-sleeve mermaid wedding dress. Duh, Irma said in a navy blue mermaid scoop neck tulle sweep train appliques lace long-sleeve CC wedding dress. We look amazing, Terene said as she admired herself in the mirror. She wore a black and orange CC beaded deep V-neck bodice and silk skirt wedding dress. I love my dress, Cornelia said in a green and golden yellow CC illusion B wedding dresses mermaid lace applique backless plunging neckline bridal gowns short sleeve wedding dress. What can I say, I know how to sew, it's a talent. Hey Lin said, smiling as she wore a silver wild rose tulle wedding dress. I'll say, I feel like a queen in a fairy tale. Alien said, twirling in her dress a pure white and gold CC off-shoulder backless lace mermaid wedding dress. Let's hope Naruto doesn't pass out from seeing us. Will said as the girls all shared a laugh as they striked poses in the mirror. They were all brought out of their thoughts as they heard a knock at the door and saw a familiar face to them. Hinata Hyuga, they said, seeing the woman. Oh, you've heard of me, Hinata asked curiously. That's one way of putting it, they all thought, remembering their trip into Naruto's memories and saw what happened the day Naruto went to their world. I just wanted to say congratulations, Hinata said with a sad expression which soon turned into a hard one, but if any of you hurt him they'll never find your bodies and I can promise you I will make it hurt tremendously, she said, activating her Byakugan. Never gonna happen, Will said, unfazed and unafraid by her look. We love him and know what he's been through and know about his burden. We'll do all we can to lighten his load, she said, the girls shrugging off her threat. Good, I hope for the best, Hinata said, walking away. Alien, you ready? Caleb said, walking in with Matt. Sorry your dad couldn't be here, Matt said, wondering if that was the right thing to say as Naruto filled him in on her dad's life. Not a problem, Matt, Will said as they locked arms and Caleb locked arms with Alien and the other girls' fathers did the same. With Naruto. The music began to play as everyone watched Lillian throwing down the flower petals just before the girls entered the room. Naruto's breath was literally taken away as he saw the girls walk down the aisle, his heart feeling like it'd shoot out his chest. Gotta say, kid, you did good, Tsunade said as she gave him a proud smile. He'd have been proud, you know, she said to him, knowing her perverted teammate would have given anything to be here, mostly for perverted reasons but still for the massive amount of pride he felt in Naruto. Naruto gave her a quickie appreciative smile. We are gathered here today for the union between these 7 individuals who have nothing but love, trust, and friendship for one another, Tsunade said as she spoke. Most of you know this one, she said, looking at Naruto. He's a man who never gives up, fought for all of us time and time again, never giving up on a friend, has chosen to give his heart to these 6 in holy matrimony. If anyone has any objections, please say so now, she said, and smiled as all the females from the bride and groom families glared and unleashed a massive amount of bloodlust, daring someone to say anything. Now the rings, she said, looking to Gaara. Here, Gaara said, handing him 6 rings. Thank you, Naruto said with a smile and then gained a smirk as he showed off a little, making each ring float and fly onto each girl's finger. Show off, Tsunade said under her breath. Any vows, she asked, willing to skip that part. I have every one of you Giris I need to say thank you. You all saved me more times than I could count and have been there for me in my darkest moments. I've known the pain of growing up alone. That kind of pain lived with me for so long I felt it would never go away until you all came into my life and made me feel happier than I've ever felt in my life. I vow that I will always be there for each of you no matter what comes our way. We will get through it together. I love you all with every part of heart and my soul, Naruto said to them, seeing them all shed tears of joy. My baby boy, Kushina said as she had waterfalls of tears. Have to admit that was nice, Tsunade said, knowing Naruto's heart would be well protected. You may kiss the brides. Tsunade was saying as the girls pulled Naruto, each ravaging his face with kisses, or the other way around, she said as she laughed. Everyone heard someone clapping just as the girls finished kissing Naruto. Oh, you must all forgive me, I get so emotional at weddings. They just move me. Madara said as he pulled out a handkerchief and sarcastically blew his nose into it. You, Kushina said as she saw him, the man who caused Naruto's life to be what it was. Me, did you honestly think you could just run back to our world to hide from me, and get to have everything you want? Sorry kid, reality doesn't work like that, Madara said to him as everyone readied themselves. I know who you are. Naruto said as he put himself in front of his wives. Really? Madara said as he put his hands on his hips. Yeah, Obito. Naruto said as he had a little peek inside Narissa's mind before he trapped her. What? Kakashi said in shock. I got a peek inside Narissa's mind, but think about it, his Sharingan is the same shape as yours and he only has one on the opposite side of yours, Kakashi, Naruto said as Naruto thought long and hard, as when he had seen Kakashi use Kamui it was exactly like how the man did it. But they could only form the same shape if. Kakashi was saying. If they're from the same eyes. Obito said as he removed his mask, I'm here to tell you. All there is still a war, he said simply, and Naruto, I hope you like my gift to you, he said, putting his mask on. What gift? Naruto asked, glaring at him. The next 7 days, Obito said to him, enjoy them Naruto while you still can, he said simply. Doing this won't bring Rin back, Naruto said to him quietly, but he still heard it. What did you say? Obito said as he glared at Naruto. All of this, it won't bring her back. She's been waiting for you for years, stop trying to destroy everything in her name. Naruto said as Narissa knew a lot about Obito from the eye she made and implanted and he was able to see all of it. You don't know anything. Obito said in pure rage. I know enough when you are being tricked. Think about it, how could Mist have gotten their hands on the Sanbai? How could they have known how to place him inside of her with a temporary seal unless they had help from an expert seal user, he asked him. Obito merely teleported away the questions Naruto asked, begging to make some doubts arise in his mind. Hey, this is our day, let's enjoy it, Naruto said as he looked to his brides who smiled and nodded. Come here girls, come give your new mom a hug, Kushina said, happy she had so many daughters. Okay Naruto, get to work, I want as much grandchildren as possible, she said very seriously. Done, the girls said with a grin. Few hours later. This is very weird, Will said as she laughed as Naruto was in chakra mode carrying all of them. And very useful, Elian said as this was cool and a little funny. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Naruto said as he felt complete. You're not the only one. Irma said as the girls felt as complete as Naruto. The girls all squeaked as Naruto dropped them onto the bed, they then removed their wedding dresses and looked at Naruto with a burning carnal longing before seeing the same look in Naruto's face if not greater than their own, and as they watched him strp they all could swear Naruto looked even more attractive than before. The girls all posed Cecily as they waited for him to choose who to have first. Let's let the dressmaker go first, Naruto said as he grabbed Lin, who squeaked when he grabbed her, and the girls assisted kissing, teasing, and rubbing her holes, making sure she'd be ready for him with whatever hole he picks to start. Lin as Cornelia and Irma ate on her tips as Elian and Terane rubbed her peach all while she made out with Will. I hope you're all ready for this as we will be doing this whenever we can, Will said to the girls as they were going to take advantage of any opportunity they had. Lin was going to say something before she shouted as Terane ate out her peach as Naruto rubbed his PP against her PP. Not that I'm not enjoying this, but why are you all tag teaming her? Naruto asked. Well, because of what Masked Dude said, we promised that this would be the most pleasure-filled night of our lives, so we can really make this a night to never forget, Elian said to him, and we want to show each other our love, she said as she and the other girls didn't just love Naruto, they loved each other. So whoever you choose, we'll be doing this to them all night long. Irma said with a grin as it sounded amazing to be touched and assaulted on all sides as their man F one of them. So you better get used to us tag teaming the girl getting F. Cornelia said with a grin as she couldn't wait for her turn. You all better get used to having your holes filled to the brim, and being covered in my juices, as I'm not stopping until I'm guaranteed that you all are PRGN, and Naruto said as he wanted to F them until they were left drooling messes. That's exactly how we like it, baby, Terane said lustfully, feeling a large SXL hunger. We've been waiting for this night forever, so of course we're not stopping until we're PRGN into. Will said as they had all stopped taking BRTHCNTRL as they wanted to be knocked up and carrying Naruto's children. I'm not stopping until you all can't take any more, Naruto said to them with full determination in his voice. Please hurry, I can't wait anymore. Hey Lin shouted, getting tired of feeling Naruto rubbing himself against her PP and wanting him to F her already. Sorry, my appealing wind goddess. Naruto said as he kissed her just as he thrusted into her, feeling her into the kiss, her eyes wide from the pleasure she was getting as the girl's kisses and touches along with Naruto F her was out of this world. Naruto grabbed her midsection as he began thrusting deep into her PP. He's punching his way into my WMB, Hey Lin thought in excitement, wanting him to give her thirsty PP his juice. Hey Lin louder as Will began liking her CLT and outer sides of her PP. We should have our F sessions like this more often. Elian said as this was amazing. Oh, we will, Cornelia said as she silenced her best friend with a kiss, then got back to work on Hey Lin. Terane heated up her tongue inside of Hey Lin's peach, wanting to increase the pleasure even more for her. Hey Lin began drooling as Naruto kissed her neck, the pleasure making Hey Lin's mind begin to turn into mush before she screamed, making her tongue hang out as her eyes rolled up as she felt Naruto enter her WMB. Elian and Cornelia pulled on Hey Lin's tips as they ate on them. Hey Lin screamed as she climaxed, which went on as Naruto didn't stop F her, until her groaned as he filled her WMB up with his juice, making her scream in bliss. Get used to that sound, girls, the screams of love and lust, Terane said as the screams of pleasure would be something they all heard for the rest of their lives with one another. No time for rest, Hey Lin, Cornelia said as she saw that Hey Lin might have passed out from pleasure. It's my turn, she said as she got Naruto on his back and got him into a 69, taking his PP into her mouth. We've made an agreement, first rounds are all PP, second rounds go to the peach. Elian said as the girls hummed in agreement as they were kissing and touching Cornelia. Besides, with how much he poured into me, the first rounds could guarantee PRGNNCY, Hey Lin said as her WMB felt completely stuffed. Look at her go, you must have badly wanted his PP, corny, Irma said teasingly as she gave Cornelia's peach a few taps. I always want his PP badly, we always do. Cornelia said as she stopped eating and herked his PP and kissed it, savoring the taste of his PP with each kiss. Nothing truer has ever been said, Elian said as they were all addicted to Naruto's PP and became even more so after each and every night of passion. Naruto swirled his tongue inside Cornelia's PP before putting two of his fingers inside of her peach, making her loudly and very lewdly. Enough FRPLY, Cornelia said as she got up and sat on his lap as she then dropped onto Naruto's PP, taking it all in immediately. Alright girls, time to get back to work. Will said as she liked Cornelia CLT, loving the taste of Naruto's PP with the other girls' PP juices. Elian made out with Cornelia as Irma ate out her peach as Hey Lin and Terane ate on her tips. We're definitely having our group sessions like this more often. Cornelia said as the pleasure was more than she anticipated as she wanted more. Cornelia bounced on top of Naruto's PP, wildly drooling from the pleasure. I want to get knocked up, Naruto, I want your babies, she said in bliss. Naruto grabbed her hips as he moved himself into her PP to the hilt before he began pounding her PP roughly, intent on giving Cornelia what she wanted. My PP will be his cock sleeve forever, Cornelia thought, as her PP would be his and for his use alone. Look at her tips sway, Terene said as she was a little smaller in rack size compared to Cornelia, but she made up for it with her amazing peach. Cornelia screamed as she and Naruto leaked at the same time. Hey baby, Terene said as she helped him put Cornelia down gently. She then got on her hands and knees and shook her peach at him sensually. I always love looking at this peach, Naruto said as he gave her peach a few gentle taps as he ate her out. Terene feeling her PP become soaked as Naruto's touch never stopped bringing her pleasure, be it simple or SXL. His touch made her longing and crave him. Naruto hot-dogged his PP between her peach cheeks, rubbing himself against her. I know I have a fat ass, and the fact his PP feels large enough to be more than enough to fit is always baffling, Terene thought as Naruto's size always perplexed her. I'd love to have this hot dog for lunch, Irma said as she liked Naruto's PP and Terene's peach hungrily. Yeah, just look at it between these buns, Elian said as she licked her lips in hunger. As soon as Naruto thrusted into Terene, the girls knew that was their K to start pleasing Terene. I really want him in my peach, Terene thought as she had become addicted to anal and loved the pleasure and pain it brought her as Naruto was very rough even when holding back. Don't worry T, after my turn then we start anal, Will said with a kind-hearted smile as she knew Terene loved anal. Naruto thrusted into Terene hard as he knew she liked it rough and groped her peach as hard as he could, squeezing it with all his might, possibly with enough force to leave a bruise. Terene nearly fell as Naruto was rougher than ever before. He's gonna break me, she thought, feeling her eyes raise almost going into her skull, feeling the pleasure he and the girls were giving her. Careful there, Flash, don't wanna pop these bubbles, Irma said as she was less concerned for Terene's peach and more concerned with Terene remaining conscious so they could all fully enjoy the night together. It's always freaky seeing you become a blur when you're really going at it, Will said as Naruto was nothing but at his peak when SEC was concerned, giving it all he had and more. Terene screamed loudly as she climaxed very hard, making Naruto leak as well. Me next, Irma said in excitement, pulling Naruto up and jumped onto him immediately, wrapping her legs around his waist tightly. Alright, my sea queen, Naruto said as his PP entered her PP. Elian ate out Irma's peach while Terene and Cornelia grouped her tips as Will and Lin ate on her neck. Oh hell yeah, Irma shouted in excitement. F me however you want baby, let all of your SLTS work for your load, feed it to us, she said, very hungry, wanting his juices. Naruto grinned as he then buried himself to the hilt as he began pounding her furiously. Yeah baby, treat your wife what you can do, PND my PP make me have a limp for days, Irma said as she kissed his neck and begged. Naruto gave a harsh move, entering her WMB, making her scream. Do it, come on, leak inside me, knock up your water B, Irma said as she would use her powers to force more juice into her WMB. I'm going to, my queen of the sea, Naruto said as he buried himself inside of her and leaked inside of her PP. F. Irma thought as she used her powers to push as much juice inside as possible. DMN, careful honey, don't make her pop, Will said as she saw Irma's stomach expand. She's using her powers, Naruto said to her. Be careful babe, Naruto leaks like a running faucet, that much juice will make your baby maker burst, Will said as she kissed Irma, who screamed as his juice soon burst out, her PP gushing out. You're next Elian, she said with a grin. Leak on my shining knight, leak to your queen, Elian said in hungry lust as she wanted Naruto to dominate her, take what he wanted from her, making her submit like he has before each time they made love. Naruto put her on her hands and knees and pressed her face into the bed. You're a king Naruto and I am your queen, you and me forever and ever, you can do whatever you like however you like, Elian said, wanting him to know that their vows were more than that, he had her and could do what he wanted with her mind, body, and soul, especially her body. I know, your majesty, Naruto said as he spoke lustfully into her ear, giving it a quick lick. PND me like you did to Terene, if not harder, Elian said, wanting him to not hold back and unleash all he had, as all the girls knew Naruto was a beast in the sack. Ellian got what she wanted as Naruto slammed into her PP, instantly breaking into her WMB. He's not wasting time, she thought as she felt like crying out in pleasure. The girls watched as Naruto pounded Ellian like a primal animal in heat, giving her the roughness and domination she loved. That's Naruto for ya, just ask and you shall receive. Irma said as Naruto spoiled them, giving them what they wanted and more. Ellian felt like she was in nirvana, feeling nothing but pleasurable bliss from Naruto's assault on her body combined with what the girls were doing to her, making her feel even more pleasure with how he's wrecking my PP. I wonder if what will break first, me or the bed, she thought, wondering which would break first on Naruto's assault on her insides. She began to scream even louder as Naruto pulled on her hair, making her PP tighten, as she then climaxed very hard, making Naruto leak as well as she squeezed his PP very tight. And now it's finally my turn, Will said with a smile on her face. Then we start my favorite kind of F, then when we get to round 3 we do whatever. Terene said, knowing there would be many rounds. Meaning afterwards, you can do whatever you want to do to us, until our bodies can't take any more and we pass out. Cornelia said, loving that thought. Like that wasn't gonna happen anyway. Irma said nonchalantly as Naruto F their bodies like that all the time, as they had zero chances of keeping up with his godlike stamina. Let me, Will said as she got atop Naruto and turned around her back facing him and began to ride him. Giddy up, girl. Hey Lin said, making a joke, making Irma chuckle as she approved of the joke. Naruto gave Will's peach a slap, making her scream in lustful pleasure. Ride it like you mean it, he said to her, seeing her smile at him, bouncing on his PP as if her life depended on it. Will screamed in bliss, loving what the girls were doing to her body as she rode Naruto's PP. We're all your SLTS Naruto, we love and worship you, she said as she cried in pleasure. I know, Will Namikaze. Naruto said with a smile. The girls all shivered in delight, thinking of their new names. Naruto grabbed Will's hips before he thrust it up into her. Let me show you how it's done, he said with a grin as he increased Will's speed as he thrust it into her, meeting her bounces. Will loudly as she dropped backwards, her back resting against his chest as he wrapped his arms around her and laid his head on her shoulder. Will turned her head, as did Naruto, as the two then began to kiss passionately, not even separating for air as the intense passionate longing between them was incredibly strong. Will leaned forward as Naruto grabbed her arms, driving himself all the way inside of her, making her scream in bliss as they leaked together. She soon got off and all the girls lined up together, turning away from Naruto, getting on their hands and knees, shaking their asses at Naruto, showing him their tattoos. Like them? Irma asked as she was proud of her tattoo and would flaunt it whenever she got a chance. There to show. Everyone, we're yours, our little tramp stamps. Terene said with a grin as it excited her a lot. So dear, who gets the first round of anal? Ellian asked as they were all shaking their asses wanting his attention. Terene laughed with glee as Naruto went over to her. Let's let the one who loves anal more than everything. Naruto said as he rubbed Terene's peach affectionately. Terene felt like squealing in joy hearing he was gonna F her peach first. She then screamed as Naruto slammed into her peach and immediately began pounding her, giving her the hard anal F she lived for. I swear, give him the okay for anal and he goes at it like a wild animal. Cornelia said, chuckling as she thought of her experiences with Naruto. It's Naruto, and besides he tends to not hold back so much when it comes to anal, he'll leave your peach a gaping hole, Hey Lin said, having a fond smile at the thought. Terene screamed in bliss as she felt herself go to nirvana as Naruto picked her up by her knees, going deeper into her hole. Shake that appealing peach, my private dancer. Naruto said, growling lustfully as he gave her peach a spank, making her loudly. Terene looked back at him as she shook her peach as much as she could with Naruto F her. Naruto then buried himself inside of her, making her throw her head up, screaming blissfully as he leaked inside of her peach, the girls liking the juices that dripped out. Ellian yelped as Naruto grabbed her leg and pulled her to him, not giving her time to process he was gonna F her royal peach. Naruto grabbed her by the waist and lifted her up before pulling her back towards him as he thrust it inside of her and immediately began pounding her peach. Looks like we're getting it deep, girls, Irma said, having zero problems with that. Yes, F me just like that, my king. Use me like a F toy. Elian screamed as she had her tongue hanging out as drool leaked down her body. Naruto grinned as he began slamming into her viciously, making Elian loudly as each slam made her feel like she was having the air knocked out of her. Elian screamed as Naruto buried himself inside of her, leaking before he dropped her onto the bed, and leaked all over her body with her sighing in bliss. Do your ball ever get empty? Cornelia asked as the amount of juices Naruto shot out was baffling. Are you actually complaining about that? Irma asked as she thought being showered in his juices was exciting and very appealing. No, just saying. Cornelia said as it was something she thought of a lot. Come on, my maiden of the earth, your turn. Naruto said as he picked her up and threw her on the bed. Cornelia's hair was then pulled by him, making her head come back as he rubbed his pee against her peach, giving it a hard slap, getting her excited. God, he makes me crave whatever he's gonna do, she thought, as she always thought she rubbed her teasing personality onto Naruto. Either literally or figuratively was debatable, but thanks to this he knew just how to get them going, almost as if he had an instruction manual for their bodies. Come on honey, I think Corny's ready to get down and dirty. Irma said, a little put off. Cornelia wasn't annoyed like she normally was. Yeah, give Ms. Earth Queen what she loves, Elian said as she spread Cornelia's peach cheeks and liked it, and Naruto's pee as he got ready to F her best friend's peach. Seeing Cornelia's peach slicked up along with his pee with Elian's spit, Naruto slammed right into Cornelia. Cornelia loudly as Naruto F her peach and groped her tips teasingly, making her longing more of him. How does it feel to be the teased, my supermodel wife? Naruto asked her, giving her a taste of her own medicine, and lightly teased her about all the times she talked about becoming a model. It feels amazing. Cornelia said as she felt complete. You really think of me as a supermodel? She asked as she wanted to hear him say it. Of course, never give up, and one day you might become one, but you'll always be one to me, Naruto said as all his wives were model material at the least. Well, I'm sure we'll all get plenty of modeling practice doing it for you. Just say when and I'll give you a show. We all will, Cornelia said as showing off her body to her man with the other girls sounded fun and would most likely lead to this again, but with their clothes ripped off. Naruto grabbed her arms and pulled her as close to him as possible, making his thrusts reach even deeper inside of her rectum, making her scream in bliss. Having fun? Elian asked Cornelia as she rubbed Cornelia's stomach, which bulged slightly with every move Naruto gave her. Cornelia pulled her into a kiss right as both her and Naruto leaked at the same time. Well, I volunteer. Hey Lin, you go get him, girl, Irma said as she pushed Hey Lin right at Naruto, making the girl feel helpless as she felt Naruto's toned body and his wet pee and knew he would wreck her like always. Naruto pushed Hey Lin into the bed as he held her arms behind her back, pinning her to the bed. Hey Lin felt her heart race and her pee get even wetter as she was at Naruto's mercy. She then felt the air leave her lungs as Naruto slammed into her and began hammering the insides of her peach. How are you always so tight? Naruto asked her as no matter what, Hey Lin was always as tight as the first day he had SEC with her. Because I live for these moments, for you to loosen me back up, just waiting for you to wreck my holes and leave them gaping so I can heal, just for you to do it again. Hey Lin said lustfully, her innocent tone not at all present. Naruto gave her a particularly hard move, making her hold onto the bed to stop her front half from falling off the bed as Naruto kicked into overdrive. Hey Lin could see stars as his eyes rolled upward from the pleasure at it. Was so out of this world she often saw stars. Naruto then leaked inside her of peach, making her scream in pure bliss before he quickly pulled out and leaked all of her back and peach. Okay girlfriend, who next? Irma asked her best friend. Irma got her answer as Will pulled her into a kiss, then pushed her over to Naruto. Sorry babe, Karma, Will said with a laugh. Naruto put Irma down on her back with her peach in the air. Oh, you're getting the jackhammer, Irma. Will said with a smirk. Bring it babe, Irma said to Naruto as no matter what he did to her she knew she'd love it as her body craved Naruto's touch. Naruto spread Irma's legs out wide before he thrust it into her peach, pounding her furiously, intending on pounding her as hard and as fast like a literal jackhammer, like Will said. I swear that man, Will said as she watched Naruto F her best friend slash sister wife, stamina to F burn, she said as it was amazing watching him work. Irma could only as Naruto's powerful and fast thrusts were turning her insides and her mind into mush. She got surprised when Naruto flipped, grabbed her arms and restrained them behind her back. I'm helpless, she thought, getting even more excited. Soy tuyo para siempre, she shouted. Lo así, mi diosa del mar. Naruto said in the language she was speaking. Irma screamed as she and Naruto leaked, before he pulled out and leaked all over her face and tips. I'm surprised you waited this long, Naruto said as Will chose to be last for both times. Well, I had something I wanted to try out while the girls collect themselves, Will said as she saw the girls breathing heavily with blushes on their faces. Naruto watched Will's hair started to move and rise almost as if it were alive, her eyes shined with pure electricity. So Naruto, are you man enough to put your plug in my socket? Will said, having a smile on her face as Naruto entered chakra mode. She then spread her cheeks, presenting her back door to him, and the moment Naruto thrust it into her peach, trails of lightning escaped her eyes. I love chakra mode, you can do whatever you want, she said as it and sage mode always increased the pleasure Naruto gave them. Naruto spared no words as he began a bright orange blur hammering into her peach as fast and as hard as he could. Is it raining outside, he thought, and honestly hoped, as when he heard loud booming and saw lightning out the window. Will was so out of it she wasn't even paying attention to the thunder and lightning and focused on Naruto. Naruto's chakra wrapped around her body with some becoming hands as they groped her tips and other places on her body. Awesome, Will thought calmly in a pleased tone, as this was her paradise. Naruto used his chakra appendages to pull her closer as he buried himself to the hilt, leaking inside of her. As soon as he pulled out, all 6 girls got around him and rubbed his pee with their tips, all while liking the tip with their tongues before he leaked all over them, firing his juices on them, shooting it like a fire hose. I think that's enough action for tonight, Naruto said as everyone still needed to sleep. Just as soon as he said that, all of the girls passed out. Lemon end. 3 days later. Oh Lord, Tsunade said as she looked at the girls who were just radiating happiness, basically glowing. I want details. No, Ino was asking before certain women glared at her, shutting the blonde up. Do you intend to still fight? Kushina said, knowing it'd be a long time before they were invalid and their skills were hindered. Yes, Will said, all of them having every intention of fighting. Naruto certainly has a type, Tsunade thought, as it was to be expected with all the strong women in his life. Naruto would naturally crave that. Where is my son anyway? Kushina asked curiously, thinking the girls would be with him. He said he was going to visit a grave, Cornelia said, as the girls didn't ask any more questions after that. Tsunade had a look as she knew whose grave he was visiting and smiled as Naruto made it when he had a moment after hearing the news, as she visited it often, sometimes ranting at it, wondering if the spirit of who it belonged to could hear her. With Naruto. Hey pervy sage, Naruto said, standing before the grave with a sad smile, been a while. Well, more for me than you, but hey, what can you do, he said, cracking a joke hoping it would make this less awkward and painful. I got married, if you can believe it, he said, looking at the tombstone, to 6 amazing women. They make me happy and I wish you could have dash, he was saying as he then remembered how his MSTR was. No, that would have been a nightmare. Hell, I'm pretty sure they'd do worse than what Granny did, or hell wanted a piece of the profits, he said as Will and Irma came to mind. He stood there for a few moments not knowing what else to say. Thank you for everything MSTR, I miss you a lot, he said, walking away, and as he did the wind blew, a few leaves went past him and in a moment he felt a familiar presence grab his shoulder, and when he turned around all he saw was the tombstone. Few hours later. Minato said as they were on the clock for the war, and as much as he enjoyed each day it made him stressed as each day was fleeting and being around the other Kage instead of his family was torture. Oh honey. Kushina said as she got behind him and rubbed his shoulders a little. I vote to have Minato Namikaze as leader of this alliance, Gaara said as he was not going to have a keep Naruto and be on the sidelines as just from the look in Naruto's eyes he knew his friend tapped into a great force of power and knew in his very soul Naruto would not fail. I vote against, Inoki said everyone understanding for obvious reasons. I vote for, Mei said with a smirk as she much preferred to trust Minato than A. Against, A said as he glared at Gaara knowing what he was up to. Before I say my vote I must ask you something Gaara, why do you wish me to lead and not a, Minato asked his son's friend. Because you and Naruto have the same look in your eyes, Gaara said as he remembered the day Naruto beat him vividly and knew when he said he would protect his friends it wasn't talk but a promise he engraved on his very soul, and the look Minato had when they had meetings and talked about casualties he saw that very same look. I accept since the vote is clearly 3-2, Minato said as Mifune the leader of the samurai nodded himself. My mistake 4-2, he said with a smile. Well, at least my suggestion is finally going to be put in, Inoki said as he wanted to use the Jinchuriki in the beginning. With Obito. Hard to believe little Naruto is all grown up, Kabuto said as he chuckled slightly. What's even harder to believe is that he figured you out before I ever did, he said as that was an impressive feat on the boy he had known as the hyperactive loudmouth years ago. Obito wasn't paying attention to him as Naruto's words still rang in his mind no matter how hard he tried to bury them down. Did you do as I have asked? He said to Kabuto. Yes, after you teleported me I grabbed him and I must say I'm intrigued about this magic, perhaps I can get a hold of a user's body, he said as his forked tongue came out. Sasuke still has a role to play, Obito said as he knew Sasuke was the only one who could fight Naruto on even ground and was thankful like Naruto he had absorbed magic. He's been training non-stop since I broke him out of prison, Kabuto said as it had been a while since he had gotten Sasuke and the Uchiha trains frivolously. Of course he has. Obito said as he had seen the darkness in Sasuke and knew it surpassed his own. Obito noticed the look on Kabuto's face. You doubt my plan of involving Sasuke? He asked him. Naruto has changed, he's stronger, faster and smarter than before. Kabuto said. Anything we can do to shorten the gap? Obito asked knowing Sasuke may have needed an edge. I don't know, from what I've learned, he is braver and more courageous than Sasuke, Kabuto said to him simply as he knew Naruto and he never stopped growing or evolving in his opinion, but I may have a something I can give him, he said as a long white snake came from under his robes and bared its fangs. The curse mark, Obito said as his Sharingan picked up on the unique venom on the snake. Since he had it before the process should be instantaneous, Kabuto said as it was similar to muscle memory. Then do it, Obito said to him simply. With Naruto. The F do you mean he's here? Elian asked Naruto after he told her after she found him meditating. He's here, I can feel him, Naruto said as he felt Sasuke no matter how far they were apart he could feel him. You let him live last time Naruto after you let him stab you, Elian said as she remembered their last fight. This will end differently, I'm not going to let him get a cheap shot in this time. Naruto said simply. What the hell is wrong with that clan? Elian asked him as the only two who were normal were Itachi and Shisui. History, Naruto said as the Uchiha had been dealt many wrongs and their lashing out and approaches to deal with it were all wrong and increased the Uchiha's dark light and people's negative perspective on them, and from what Itachi told him it was much worse than what people thought they knew. Can you handle him? Elian asked him. Yes, because one way or another this is ending, Naruto said as he knew the final chapter in his and Sasuke's story was approaching, and for good or bad their clash would finally end for better or worse. With Sasuke. Sasuke thought angrily as after his defeat he wanted to destroy his best friend, and all he thought of when he saw Naruto was that pleading look in his eyes, the ones that called out to him, the ones that looked at him as if he were still Naruto's best friend. With Caleb. So how screwed are we? Matt asked his friend. Very, but I called in a favor to even out our odds, Caleb said to him. For what and from who? Matt asked curiously. The council they gathered the hearts of the other worlds and the original mage's items. Elian won't feel much different but the other girls will definitely be feeling the power any day, Caleb said as it was an idea he offered the council as this threat couldn't be contained even by a veil. Well, if the end of the world is approaching, wanna grab a drink? We're technically legal here, Matt said to him as he saw no other things to do. Let's go, Caleb said as he took one more glance at his sleeping mother. She did a lot of messed up stuff, man. It's okay to hate her, Matt said to him. Family isn't all about BLD, Caleb said as he remembered something Naruto told him a while back. Come on, let's grab that drink, he said to Matt. What is she dreaming about anyway? Matt asked as when he asked Itachi about the Izanami he was told that all it did was trap someone till they learned to let go and accept things. No clue, but I don't care, Caleb said as they left, not noticing as they did a tear went down Narisa's eye. Next day. Your brother is a douchebag, Naruto said as they threatened B to have an actual wedding after he heard the tale of him eloping. Story of my life, dude. B said as he had a bit of mixed feelings about this. At least we can cross being bridesmaids off our bucket lists, Cornelia said as she and the other girls were Oryub's bridesmaids. 1 hour later. Clock's ticking bro, B said as he and Naruto were having a private drink. I know that, Naruto said as the stakes had never been more high than for Naruto and B. You're taking a bit of a gambit making all those clones, B said as he knew Naruto could make many shadow clones, but to make an amount of a division and to give them around a quarter or even a third of his chakra knowing they had Obito was a combination of brave, honorable, stupid, selfless, and borderline suicidal. Well, how else do you expect us to get this thing ready? Naruto said as he was briefed in on Kabuto stealing Yamato and knowing Kabuto he was going to use the graveyard amount of corpses he stole in that fight, and from the book Kabuto gave him there was only one other Akatsuki besides Obito and it made him weary of what to expect from Zetsu. Samehada seems excited, B said looking at his predatory chakra and magic-hungry sword. Hey buddy, you give me and B some excess chakra. We'll stuff you regularly, Naruto said as Samehada could share chakra and had about as much as Gyuki himself. Samehada smiled and licked its lips at the offer. Any idea who we should let him feast on? B asked jokingly. Why not you? It loves your octopus-flavored chakra, Naruto said as a tentacle came out of B and hit him. Screw you Gyuki, he said as he got up. B chuckled before looking as Samehada tried to take a bite out of the tentacle. Ah, don't eat me, he said as he could feel through the tentacle. See, it likes octopus more than fox. Naruto said as they shared a laugh together. As soon as Samehada got what it wanted, it extended its hilt to them giving them some chakra. Guess we're starting a new legend, huh? Naruto asked B as they looked up to the sky. Stopping the Ten Tails resurrection, or stopping it? B asked him as if they got Gyuki he was dead, but Naruto had a good chance at surviving due to his Uzumaki genetics as the clan was basically made to house tailed beasts. Both, I think, Naruto said knowing better than anyone. Plans went off the rails, we might run into some familiar faces B, he said as both he and B were informed certain people they knew had their graves robbed. Yeah, who do you think he'll throw at us? B asked him. Well, let's take in account the Jinchuriki he's taken. If he wanted to he could revive them and use them against us. Naruto said as he often wondered why the Akatsuki desired to keep the bodies of the Jinchuriki. Yujito and Blue, B said remembering his fellow Jinchuriki. 6 Jinchuriki versus 2, not exactly good odds, Naruto said as he was glad Gaara was revived. I hate this, fighting our fellow Jinchuriki, if only there was a way to free them from his control. Along with anyone else he revives. B said as he punched his fist into his palm. Tell me about it, but we can save them sadly, Naruto said as resurrections needed a massive amount of chakra or a person's life force. Yeah, save them, just to lose them again. B said as he cursed the second Hokage for making the reanimation jutsu. I hate responsibility, Naruto said as he wasn't going to use Rinne rebirth despite the fact he wanted to. DMN reanimation jutsu, did the second Hokage have any respect for the dead? The dead should stay at rest, not reborn to be used as weapons, B said angrily. I know you don't want to fight Yujito, she was one of your students, right? Naruto asked him. Yeah, and Blue, B said sadly. Yeah, about that something is bothering me about specific bodies Kabuto took, Naruto said as when B mentioned his deceased friend he mentioned Gyuki's former host, Kabuto also took Tsunade's grandmother the first host of Kurama before my mother, he said to him. Two former Jinchuriki, what do you think he's up to, B asked Naruto. No idea, but whatever it is it can't be good cause I don't know what makes us special after death, Naruto said to him as it honestly scarred him what Kabuto or Obito is doing with them. With Kabuto. Are you saying what I think you're saying? Obito asked Kabuto curiously. Like most things there is always another way, but I need time for this to work in order for these stand-ins to take their places. Worst case scenario, Kabuto said to Obito inspecting 3 corpses from Kyumo and 1 from the leaf. So there's a chance of failure. Alright, the Jinchuriki are still the prime directive, Obito said to him. Of course, though you might want to pray for luck. Naruto isn't like normal people, he won't go down easily. Kabuto said, speaking from experience. Who cares, he won't stop my plans. Obito said, shrugging it off. You'd be surprised as Naruto is known for performing miracles. Kabuto said as he chuckled at that, remembering that fight they had years ago. Miracles don't exist, Obito said to him. Then you my friend are one heck of a downer, Kabuto said as even his bloodthirsty psychotic mind he tried to stay positive and focus on them. I didn't bring you to make jokes. Obito said as he glared at him. Might I recommend a girlfriend, I'm sure it should help you plenty, Kabuto said as he jabbed at Obito's history. That gives me an idea. Obito said as Kabuto's snake went on alert knowing what the man was plotting. Forget it, you hurt those girls and Naruto will literally demolish you, you think you have strength? You haven't seen what that boy is capable of, Kabuto said knowing this would be the breaking point or Naruto's limit. True, just be sure to get her ready, she's the key to remove the 9 tails. Obito said looking at Mito's corpse. Don't see why you didn't request the real Madara's body. Kabuto said as Madara apparently had a way to summon the 9 tails. Something he found baffling. It won't work with the 9 tails inside of Naruto and Madara is a last resort option. Obito said to Kabuto. True, though Naruto brought up some good points revolving around the situation with Madara and this Rin, doesn't it feel a little convenient for the mist to have a time-limited seal and why she just didn't try to kill herself to stop the 3 tails? Seems like she was unable to harm herself, to me. Honestly, it feels like Madara wasn't exactly truthful, like something else was going on. Kabuto said not liking the thought of being an unknowing puppet for Madara even after the man died and had zero clue of his existence. He was still playing on the dead legendary Uchiha's terms. It matters little. Obito said walking away. Next day. I don't like this Minato. Kushina said as just like Naruto she was worried about the former generation's Jinchuriki's bodies. Neither do I, Obito must be having a backup plan if they accidentally kill them, that must be why he needed Mito's body. Minato said as it made his heart ache on how low his student fell. Tomorrow's the last day on the timetable, Kushina said as she looked out and saw the village looked so quiet and empty. I set up seals to transport everyone, Minato said as even after almost 2 decades some of his well-hidden seals were still there and he took full advantage of them. This isn't going to be easy, especially with what Obito will be throwing at us. I'm worried about Naruto, I mean he just got married and now, Kushina said before Minato turned around and held her. All Minato could do was hold her as he couldn't tell her everything would be alright as this war was gonna be ugly and he wouldn't lie to his wife as this war would have been the ugliest yet. Where is Naruto anyway? Kushina asked as she hadn't seen her son today. Doing better than us. Minato said as Naruto was so calm it scared him a little as he knew it was best to keep calm before a battle but Naruto didn't seem bothered at all. It made his natural easiness look like worry in comparison. With Naruto. You look like SHT. Naruto said looking at Gamabunta as he summoned the large toad. Yeah well you aren't that appealing to look at either. Gamabunta said as he was wrapped in bandages and drank sake. Hand me one, I still owe you a drink, old timer. Naruto said to him. Finally you say something that makes sense. Gamabunta said, pouring Naruto a saucer of sake, and watched Naruto down the saucer much like how Tsunade would've. So you're retiring? Naruto asked him. Yeah, too old, and Gamakichi took over. Gamabunta said, having a proud smile. What about Gamatatsu? Naruto asked, wondering what happened to him. Ah, my little chowderhead. Gamabunta said as his other son was skilled but not an effective leader. Don't die, he said as Naruto was close to him. I'll try, no promises. Naruto said as he walked away, taking in the sight of his village, as he and his father had a lot of troops and other things to teleport in a few moments. Next day before sunrise. All ninjas watched carefully as they were waiting for first light. Naruto was waiting in chakra mode, many people amazed by the pure golden light that enveloped him, and soon as his shadow clones ran to advised areas, people felt a little at ease seeing him as if he were a ray of hope. The girls followed his lead in making shadow clones as they felt turbo charged with all the magic items and hearts powering them. They had a lot of excess power. It's begun, Naruto said, seeing the sun arise, the light hitting his face. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for more crossovers. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and authors pyrohelixdrago, KFB Anime 87 on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.